Hi everybody and welcome back to HeyEugena. Today I'm here to talk about Gilmore Girls. As you may know, last Friday on the 25th, Gilmore Girls Revival, A Year in the Life, came out on Netflix. I was working all of Black Friday and also all of the weekend, but somehow I still managed to squeeze in all of the 4 episodes, and I've watched the entire thing now. And I gotta say, I have a lot of feelings, a lot of opinions, and a lot of thoughts that I thought it would be fun to share with all of you today. So I thought I would go over each character kind of quickly and just discuss what I thought of them and where their life was at. I also want to talk about, of course, all the main storylines, what I thought of the decisions that were made for the characters and the stories, and of course we gotta talk about the ending. Huh? Lorelai, I thought, nailed the character. She was spot on. I loved the styling. I loved that she still has the same way of dressing. She still wears her hair in those beautiful curls. And she looked amazing. Her acting was great. I thought she gave off the same kind of Lorelai vibe that she did in the original series. I thought she had a great connection to the other actors and she was still relatable and likable, and I just thought that her character was played really well. Rory was probably the most frustrating character for me. First of all, I didn't think that the character was played very well. I thought that the way that she was hugging people was weird. I remember distinctly one scene where she was visiting her father in his office, and I think she came in the door and she was hugging him like, "Hi father, I love you." And it was just so awkward. She barely touched his back, and the hug, she didn't put her head in, and she just kind of like, "Hi." And it was so weird. Is it just me? I thought that the way she hugged people was awkward. I also thought that she kind of read the lines as if they were lines from a manuscript. It didn't feel real, it didn't seem believable, and it wasn't really funny when she was delivering her jokes. I don't know, it was just off for me. It wasn't in the original 7 seasons, but in these episodes, it was just as if you could tell that the actress, Alexis Bledel, had been away from the character for too long and she wasn't able to reconnect. Was it just me? I thought it was weird. Anyway, I was also disappointed with the way that they carried out Rory's story. We already watched her for 7 seasons failing and making bad choices and going through struggles, and I think we all wanted to see her come a little further as a 32-year-old. It was just, again, she was making bad choices. Things fell through for her. It was just disappointing. We wanted to see more from Rory. She didn't have a steady place to live, she didn't have a steady relationship, she never learned from going through that awful thing with Dean where she made him cheat on Lindsay, and now she's doing the same thing with Logan, and obviously it's not fun for her to be the second woman. What is up with this Paul thing? This is another part of Rory's story that I find a little uncomfortable. I realized that they wanted to play off this character as slightly boring and that Rory is kind of wasting time with some guy that she's going nowhere with. But I mean, shouldn't she remember that she's with somebody? Or should she not at least be able to break up with him? Just call him and say, "Hey Paul, it's not working, I'll set you free." I just think we wanted more from her. We wanted to see her in a steady place in her life and living somewhere permanent, having a guy in her life that makes her happy and treats her well, and we wanted to see her do great things with her career. They always kind of hinted that she would be great, and she just wasn't. A little disappointing. I did think that the styling on Rory was great. She looked fantastic. She had the same style as she did in the first 7 seasons. She just grew up into a woman and she looked absolutely fantastic with the way that they did her hair and her makeup. She looked great. Luke was same Luke, and that's what we want to see. Luke is Luke and we like him for who he is. He has his diner, he has his way of dressing, and he has his kind of chilled attitude towards life, and we liked that, and he was still the same. The only thing that I didn't like about Luke's story was his connection to Lorelai. I loved that they were still together. That's great, that's the way it's supposed to be, that's what we always wanted. But why, after 10 years, can he still not let her in? They already went through this story, and that's the reason that they broke up in the first place, was because he wasn't able to trust Lorelai and to share his life with her completely. I thought they would have learned more as a couple. Kirk is still as weird as he has ever been, and I love it. This was a great character. He grew up a little bit. He looked much more mature. he was still as immature on the inside as he's always been. He is probably someone who will never move on. He will never grow up completely. But he shouldn't, because he's so freaking funny. I love his comedy in this show. I love the pig addition to the story. And I just love that they gave him so many scenes, that he was such a big part of the revival. Emily is another character that I really liked in this revival show. I loved the way they played out. The way that she handled Edward's death and the way that she grew as a person without him. I really love that they showed a more human and likable side of her. I think that's great for the story with Lorelai. They're still struggling a lot in this revival show, but seeing Emily's warmer side gives us hope that her and Lorelai will eventually figure things out. I love that we saw that she finally could keep a maid. That was cool to see, and I really liked the maid's character as well. I love that Emily was playing with the children, taking care of the children, letting someone else come into the home and actually letting go of their old house and moving to Nantucket, was it? And she got a job and she was wearing jeans. It was just so much, but it was all great choices for her. Paris and Doyle, they'll work it out. I feel like it was nice to see that they were struggling a little bit, because that's just typical Paris. She pushes everyone away because she's so extreme, but they will work it out. I'm sure of it. I love that we saw Paris being successful. She also went through a lot of struggles and a lot of failure and setbacks during her young years, but it's nice to see that she has fought her way to success. I love that she added also a lot of comedy to the show, and she was still as extreme. That scene in the bathroom where she slams the door shut with her high business heels, that was freaking funny. Logan looked fantastic. He really grew into a handsome man. I like where his life was, that he was having a nice apartment. He seemed much more mature with that. He had a nice apartment. He had his career going. He actually got his life together. I don't like that he was still so immature with the women. He is still a player. Jess also looked fantastic, but he always did. He was probably the biggest joy for me to catch up with, just because he came so far and we see what we wanted to see. We wanted to see this bad boy turn into a nice young man who is in control of his life. He really got his shit together. He is smart and he is doing well, and he's a positive influence on the people around him. I especially like that he's the one who sparked the idea for Rory's book, which is probably going to be a turning point in her life, a big success point for her life. And I really like that this came from him, because they always shared this deep connection, and he needs to be a positive influence on her if they're gonna have a love story, which clearly they are hinting at. I was always against Jess in the way that I'd never wanted him to tear Rory and Dean apart, because Dean was such a good guy and they were so good together, him and Rory. So I was never really a fan of that she was with Jess and that she broke it off with Dean for him. But seeing him come back and being this good man makes me team Jess again. Speaking of Dean, it was nice to see him shortly, that he is married, he's happy, he has his life together. He is now not a big part of the story anymore, and it was nice to see that he was Rory's first love, and now he's a closed chapter. There is no more messing around with him, and it was nice to see that he's doing well. Michelle was still funny, also looking good. I love that they got him married to a nice guy. It's nice to see that he is moving on from the inn, because I feel like he has done his part in the inn now, and it just seems like he belongs somewhere else. He can go on to do greater things and he can still grow, and that's what we're seeing him do. What I love about this story is the way that they make the goodbye, the way that he is telling Lorelai that he is leaving. I really liked the scene in the secret bar in Stars Hollow where he tells Lorelai that he is leaving. It showed a deep connection between the two, and that they have a nice warm moment with each other. That was so nice to see. They are actually real friends, and he is actually also a nice person. Miss Patty, Babette, Mr. and Mrs. Kim, Taylor. It's nice to see these guys. It's nice to see that they are still in the city and that they are still happy. They make Stars Hollow what is Stars Hollow, and they all look great, and they all are the same, and that's great. Lane and Zach and Brian and Gil. It's nice to see that the band is still together and playing, and they all seem pretty happy, and it seems to be going well for all of them. It's nice to see that Lane and Zach are still together and they seem to be doing well. The only thing is that I wish we would know more about Lane, what she is doing. Is she working? What is she working with? Where is she going with her life? Suki and Jackson. I wish that we would see them together. They were always such a nice team, and they were best friends with Lorelai. I just wish we would have seen more. Suki was away most of the show. I was really really looking forward to see more from her and to see her great friendship with Lorelai, and Lorelai needed support in some of what she was going through in this revival show, and she didn't have her best friend there, which was a shame, I thought. I just wish she would have been a bigger part of the show. Christopher. I don't know where to start, but I just thought that it was nice to see him. It's nice that he has moved on from Lorelai. It's nice that he is still in Rory's life. It's nice that he got a career going. It was just nice to see that everything is okay with him. April, it was nice that she was not a bigger part of the show because she never was in the first place, and I never really liked that she came in the show and kind of ruined Lorelai and Luke. But she is a good character. I liked her. Her acting was good. It was the real April that we saw, and it's nice to see that she is smart and she did great things, and it was nice that she popped in and popped out again. Let's talk a little bit about the storylines and the choices that were made. First of all, Luke and Lorelai don't have children, they're not married. That's not cool. That's not what we wanted to see. I didn't like that they kind of hinted at the children. They were looking into the surrogacy, but then they changed their mind. What the hell? We just got our hopes up and then you take it away from us, and Luke just says no, but we never really got an explanation of why he says no. Rory, as I went over, I just wish that she would be more put together. I think that they could still show a story of Rory being a little bit of a mess and having chaos and making some bad choices, but I just wish that she had more things that were going well for her. I think we wanted to see that. Lorelai and her mother Emily still struggle with the same issues. I thought it was nice actually that they went into therapy to kind of work it out, but we never really got an ending to that. Are they good? Are they going to figure things out? Are they going to become closer? Or what? I wish also that we would see more what happens to the inn now. This was something that was a big part of the original story. They built up this inn together as a team, Lorelai and Suki and Michelle, and everyone is gone. What happens now to the inn? And what does Lorelai do? The musical. Why? Is my only question, I think. They spent so long on this musical, and the whole time I was thinking, oh yeah, nice songs, but are you soon done? The musical took up so much of the show, and the whole time I was being more and more frustrated because I still needed answers, and the further the musical carried on, the less time there was for me to get answers in this show. I just thought it was a little unnecessary to bring so much of the musical in. I mean, why? Rory takes over the Stars Hollow Gazette. When they brought it in that the Stars Hollow Gazette was closing, I knew she would take it, and I thought she should. But I hope that she goes on to greater things in the future, and I kind of wanted to see if she does that and if the book turns out a success. Luke and Lorelai finally get married. This was a great thing. I just don't understand why Emily wasn't there. They worked so hard on their relationship, and they showed Emily as a much more human character. And why was she not at her daughter's wedding? They spent a long time in the original 7 seasons to make Emily seem as though she really wanted Lorelai to get married. She was so passionate about finding somebody for Lorelai to marry, and it was so important to her for Lorelai to get married, and then she wasn't there when she did. Jess is still in love with Rory. He's done this before, where he's popped in every once in a while to see Rory and to try to be with her. He is still at that point, and now we just need answers. We just need to see if they actually end up together. Let's talk about the ending now. Rory is pregnant. What? I remember when I was watching, I saw the 4 words coming, and I knew already that that was going to be the end of the whole thing. I just didn't expect those words. I was like, I was scared, feeling scared that she was gonna say, Mom, I love you. Because that would have been, yeah, okay, we know that already. We wanted something that hit us hard, but we wanted closure. We didn't want a cliffhanger. I mean, what are we supposed to think now? We got absolutely no answers. We didn't know who was the father. Obviously, it's apparently Logan, since she was with him. But he's with another woman, and he's in London. Jess is in love with Rory, but is he gonna back off now since she's pregnant? And what happens with her life? Is she gonna raise it alone? Does she find a man to help her? Is she able to get a career with this child? Where they're gonna live? We waited years for this, and we wanted closure, that we as viewers can move on. This is the first time that I've ever made a video about something like this, and I probably seem very passionate and into it, but that's just how I am when I talk about it, and this is all new and fresh. I just watched it recently, and I just wanted to discuss it with you guys. Do you have any theories about what is going to happen? Do you have any frustrations or any great surprises that you noticed in the show? Let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if you enjoyed this rambly video. So let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know if you watched it all the way through, if you're still here to say goodbye. I hope you're having a great day, and if you haven't watched this Gilmore Girls show, do it. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!